of time with him. When you look at the quarterback situation, New England, Drake Maye, the 3rd overall pick, but how would you handle all of it for them?
I mean, Jacoby's like a little brother to me. We were teammates, we're friends, and I think, you know, the Patriots, you go into the season, you sign Jacoby Brissett, you know you're drafting a quarterback with that pick, but you sign him to be the starter right away because he's capable, he's played a lot of football, he's very endearing to his teammates, they love him, and he's the perfect guy to mentor Drake Maye.
And Brian, to that point, I'm hard-pressed to understand, why doesn't he start on opening day? Here's somebody that's playing 78 games in his career, started 48. What is the rush with Drake Maye and all these rookie quarterbacks? I love Drake Maye. I think he's going to be great, but it's about the next 10 years, not the next 10 weeks. And to me, Jacoby is perfect. You got a rookie head coach. Let Gerard Mayo find his way. Let things slow down. And if he starts on October 1st, November 1st, whenever it is, let's take our time and let's let Jacoby settle things down and get the season off.
I mean, it's the Instagram world, Mike T. We're trying to get likes and comments. We want you to repost us on your story. That's what's happening so much in this league. But I believe that Gerard Mayo will be smart. I believe he understands as a player in that locker room what it means if you get on the field a little bit too early, how your confidence can be shaken if things don't start off the right way. And they have the perfect bridge quarterback. You heard some of the characteristics that Brian described Jacoby Brissett with, and that's all we've ever seen from him. Someone who can start, someone who can win football games, but also show the humility to be a part of a quarterback room. Chemistry is so big for a young rookie, and when you have somebody like Jacoby Brissett who has that sort of understanding, you also have a head coach who was part of winning locker rooms. They understand how to mentor and bring a young quarterback along. So Drake Mayo should start when Drake Mayo is ready and only then.
That was interesting, combining Drake Maye and Gerard Mayo.
It's like the same person.
I thought you were doing something cool. Like, it was cool. I think it's a thing. We should make it a thing.
He plays quarterbacker, not quarterback.
All right, let's go to Gerard.
Okay, so listen. First of all, that's a perfect example of how easy it is to mess up people's names and mess everything up because it just is what it is. I love how people always in the comment section, whether it's all for me, whether it's for any of the other shows, they always like want to ridicule people for messing up names or messing up stats or memories of a game that happened in 2016. You know, it's like that's the way it goes. But I think the best quote that I heard there was it's about the next 10 years, not the next 10 weeks. And that's what I've also been saying about the Patriots and Drake Maye, and other rookie quarterbacks for that matter as well. There is this obsession that if we draft a quarterback and we say he's great and a top pick and he should be able to play and win immediately. And that's just not the way it works. Some quarterbacks are more positioned to do that, whether because of their physicality, their athleticism, their arm talent, their coaching staff, their roster, whatever it may be, while others are not. And it doesn't mean that the ones that aren't ready to start on day one are less than. Patrick Mahomes did not start day one. Does anyone think that he's less than? Of course not. And I really do agree that Jacoby Brissett is like such a perfect bridge quarterback for many reasons, actually, more than what they even said, because I don't think they want to admit it, but I will. Brissett is going to be so good because he's very humble. He has a lot to offer. He's had some success, and he's also failed tremendously, of course, because he's not a true bona fide starting quarterback, right? Like, in his eyes, he wanted to be a legitimate starting quarterback, so he's failed, right? He's been benched, he's been cut, he's been whatever. And so, like, that, you learn so much from those failures. I think if you had a quarterback who, let's say you could even just learn behind a great quarterback like a Mahomes or Brady, in some ways, right, you could definitely learn a lot, some of the preparation type things. But those guys win so much that their lessons can only be applied to maybe like to each other, honestly, right? Like they are one of one. Those lessons are not transferable as they would be. Whereas someone like a Jacoby Brissett, who's had success and has also failed, that is so much more relatable that a young up-and-coming rookie quarterback is going to be able to learn, I feel, is so much more and be able to relate on a deeper level, which I think really matters. Also, Brissett understands his role. He knows he is there to teach everything that he can to Maye, that he's there to make his life easier, to make him comfortable, to make him understand, you know, to talk the talk and walk the walk, as well as being a unifying figure within that locker room. And so to me, that's where Brissett is like really kind of a home run, because doesn't have this mentality of like, I'm going to prove that I'm a starter and that I can still play. And if I really ball out this season, I can get another contract or whatever it may be. Like, that's not on his agenda. He knows who he is. He knows what his career is. He knows what he can offer a franchise. And it's not to be able to hold up the trophy and say, I did it, look at me. It's just to be an amazing teammate. And that's who he is. And so I think that's awesome. I really, really do. And I think Maye is a type of person that will respond to that very well. But the thing that they're not also saying is that it's great because Jacoby Brissett is going to be good and will be able to kind of keep that offense competent, right? And not a disaster where you're just like, what am I looking at right now? Like, can Mayo even coach? Like, what the heck is this? Like, we need to just light this team on fire. But they're still not going to win games. And they'll still most likely lose those close games, which ends up being a net positive for the Patriots because then they'll draft high again, which will only continue to be able to build the team around Maye and be able to either continue to develop the offense, the defense, whatever the needs end up being at the end of, this coming season. And so, again, I know if you're a Patriots fan, like, you don't want to hear that, right? You don't want to have another year of just, like, nonsense. Because then you're like, well, what the heck am I watching for? Like, what are we talking about? Like, why are we here? And I get it. It's frustrating, right? You want your team to be competitive every single year. You want to feel like you have at least a chance to compete, even if it's just for the playoffs. You want to be able to feel that you're watching a game that makes you feel like this is worth something. And if you're already knowing going into the season that you're not going to be able to win any games, you can't make the playoffs, it's just like, well, then why am I going to waste my time? And I get it. I really, really do. And in a lot of ways, that's how I became a football fan of just lots of teams, because I didn't want to be beholden to just my own team. I want to be able to be excited and watch all the other games and just enjoy high quality football. So, hey, if you're a Patriots fan, maybe this is your time to start watching other games and get more into watching Thursday night, Sunday night football, Monday night football, and all of that. But I just think that this is definitely the appropriate approach. Because why trot out Drake Maye out there? Why play these games in the offseason? Why be like, hey, they're both looking great. It'll be it's a race to see who can win it out. Like, don't play that game. Don't create a circus around Maye and Brissett even, and just the Patriots as a whole. Just let it know. Again, and I've said this about other quarterbacks too, but like, just go to Maye and be like, bro, you're not starting. You're not starting one game this season. Okay? And that has nothing to do with you. We drafted you. You're our future. We believe in you wholeheartedly. That's why we drafted you so high. You're just going to learn from Brissett. No pressure. You're just going to learn what it takes to be a true NFL professional quarterback. That's what you're going to do, and you're going to do it in the lowest pressure situation, because that's really the best way how you can learn. And you're going to learn some of the great things that Brissett can do, and you're going to learn some of the glaringly obvious mistakes that he makes. And you're going to learn why you should not make them too, right? Like, it just becomes very elementary, honestly. Like, a lot of these rookie quarterbacks really do. It's like starting over again. It's new language, new teams. It's, even though college is obviously such a high level of football as well, it's just night and day from the pros. It just is. Just the way you talk to the media, the way how this is truly your full-time job 24/7, the coaches, the players, like, everything about it is different. And we know that for a fact, because otherwise what you did in college would translate perfectly to the pros, and it never does. It never does. So I just think that this is a great way. But right, like Clark said, it doesn't get the Instagram likes. And if you're a Patriots fan, you're probably not loving this video right now either. Like, you want to see the tagline, Drake Maye is balling out. He's lighting practices on fire right now. Like, you want to see the headlines. Can the Patriots surprise people and win the division? Can the Patriots, make it to the playoffs? Like, you want to see those Chicago Bears headlines with Caleb Williams or whatnot. And I get it. I really, really do. But it's just not the reality for the Patriots right now, but it very well could be the reality in the next season, in the season after. So, I think it's just have to preach a little patience right now. And who knows? Maybe Jacoby Brissett really does surprise a lot of people, balls out, and then who knows, right? I mean, that is the great thing about football. You really don't know. But I don't think the Patriots fans have to get too upset or disheartened by seeing that Drake Maye is taking second team reps now. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Drake Maye and the Patriots, and where Jacoby Brissett kind of falls along within this team. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.